Do I wear the glasses? I feel like the glasses are just reflecting and I'm gonna wear them anyway. Well, I don't care. I don't care that much. Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel that I never touch and only make videos for when I'm super bored. I am on Christmas break right now, or winter break, whatever you call it, I don't know, whatever it's called. And I've been home for 3 weeks. I don't know how long it's been a while. And I'm bored. Like, it's really weird going from college where you're like doing stuff every day, like homework and class and all that jazz, to come home and have absolutely nothing to do. So I have been spending my time reading. I'm reading a lot. It's a little overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, my brain's a little fried. I'm reading like a crazy person, but it's great. It's really fun. I'm having a blast. This video is going to be talking about the books that I read in 2021, so like last year. So most of the books that I read last year I already talked about in a previous video, so I'm not going to talk about those because that's repetitive and I don't want to do that. So I have 5 more books that I read in 2021 to talk about today that I have with me. Wait, no, more than 5. I have 5 with me. There's a few in my dorm room that I forgot to bring back with me that I will also be talking about. So the last book that I talked about in the last video was We Were Liars. And then the book that I read right after that one was given to me by my grandma. My grandma's a big reader and sometimes she'll give me books to read. And, you know, I humor her, I read them, and oftentimes I don't like them just because it's a different style of book that I don't like. So yes, this one was given to me by my grandma and it's called, what is it called? While My Sister Sleeps. It's definitely a book aimed towards the older audience. So not really my thing, not my like style of book, not really my thing at all. But I tried it and I read it, and unfortunately I did give it 2 stars. It took me so long to read because I just wasn't interested in it, but you know what? I tried it out. My grandma really loved it though, so I mean, for an older audience, I'm sure it's great. Just wasn't my cup of tea. Okay, the next book that I read is People We Meet on Vacation. And oh my god, I freaking love this book. It was so good. I think it took me like 4 or 5 days to read, I think. It's so good. I was obsessed with it. The characters, I just loved them so much, and I loved the story, and oh my god, I'm pretty sure this is on my favorites list. Like, I absolutely love it. I still have the sticker on it. I'm gonna take the sticker off really quick because it will drive me crazy if I don't get it off. Okay, that was a horrible idea because now I have freaking sticker residue on my book, but oh well. Anyways, yes, obviously I gave this one a 5-star because it was so good. I love it. I love this author now. I read another one of her books that I'll talk about in a minute. I just think her books are really good, and she has a new one coming out that I'm really excited to read. So yeah, 5 stars, fantastic, one of my favorites. The next book that I read, I had to read for one of my English classes in college, and it was called, I don't have it with me, obviously, because I had to take it back, but it was called The God of Small Things, and it's basically, it's a really intense book. It's basically all about like trauma and childhood trauma specifically, because my English class was trauma-based. It was all about like trauma written into literature. And it was a really good book. I wish I had it. I kind of want to buy it because it is so good. And originally, when I put it on my Goodreads, I gave it a 4-star. But I think I might give it 5 stars. I'm kind of picky about my 5 stars though, so I think that's why I gave it a 4. But it was really, really good. It's not the kind of book that I would normally read if I didn't have to read it for class, but I really liked it. And just the way that it was written is just genius and so good. So good. I loved it. I was so happy to read it. Like, I read ahead often because it was so good. So I'll give like 4.5 stars for that one. I'll be a little lenient because it was really, really good. But I'm just picky with my 5s. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now I have 2 books that I also don't have with me. The first one was Beach Read, also by Emily Henry. And a lot of people prefer Beach Read over People We Meet on Vacation. I, however, am the opposite, and I really like People We Meet on Vacation better. I just wasn't as invested into the story in Beach Read or the characters. Like, I didn't really like them as much as I did in the other one. So I gave a 4-star on that one, but it was pretty good. It just took me longer to read, and I wasn't just like as into it as I wanted to be. After Beach Read, I read All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, who we know I love. I love her so much. Her books are phenomenal. However, this one I didn't like that much. It was okay. I liked the story. I liked the whole concept of it. It just felt a little, you know, like I knew what was gonna happen the whole time. I could see the story like unfolding before I actually read it. I don't know. It was okay. So I did give it 3 stars because it is good. I just don't think it's her best. Then I read a popular book on TikTok, and it is They Both Die at the End. This one is raved about on TikTok. Like, people love this book. It is all over my For You page all the time. Like, people love it. And I was really disappointed because I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I think the concept of it is really cool. It's very interesting. It's just a little, I don't know. I didn't really like it. The writing was just kind of bland for me. I think it's meant for like young adults, and I've kind of been branching out into more like books directed towards a little bit older audience, not like young adult books. So I think it was just a little like simple, I guess is a word that I could use. I don't know. Like, the writing was just a little bland for me, a little basic, I don't know. I wanted more from it, and I thought it was going to be better because of all the hype, but it's still good. I still liked it. However, I didn't cry at the end like I wanted to. I thought I would be really sad and hurting, and I didn't. I just wasn't as connected to the characters in the story like I wanted to be, but that's okay. I did give it 3 stars though, so it wasn't awful. Okay, now we get to the part where I started reading when I got home for break, and I finished They Both Die at the End when I got home, I think, if I remember correctly. And then I picked up this one, which is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This one is so good. I don't see this one talked about on TikTok ever. Never, ever, ever. It's always her other books. And this one was so good. Like, I love it. It is right up there with Ugly Love and It Ends With Us. Like, it is so good. 5 stars. I read it in 3 days. It totally restarted my whole, like, reading craze. Like, I was kind of in a slump because I was in college and I just didn't feel like reading. Whenever I had free time, I wouldn't read. I would just watch TikTok or something. But this one was so freaking good. I had no idea what was going to happen the whole time. Like, sometimes, you know, you read a book and you're like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I had no idea what was coming with this one. I was totally hooked from the beginning and totally just shook at the end. It was so good. Such a good story. I loved it. The last book that I read for 2021 is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Another sticker. Oh, this one's gonna come off easy because it's a hardcover. That was really satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. I started reading this one and I read it within a day. I started reading it at probably like 9:30 at night, and I stayed up till like 12:30 something to finish it because it's so good. And it's a hefty book. Like, I blew through this thing. The story is so good. Like, I felt so connected to every single character. It was crazy. Like, it's really hard for me to feel like super connected to characters just because, like, I know they're characters and I just, like, whatever. But I thought these people were real people. I was, like, crying for them. I was just shook the whole time at what was going on. And it's great. It was crazy. I love this book. This is one of my favorites. It's on my favorite list. So, so good. So yeah, those are the rest of the books that I read in 2021. So yeah, if you watch this, thank you. These are kind of just for me, but if you want to watch me talk about books, have fun, have at it. I'm probably gonna go read. And and try to find things to do while I am here on break. So, okay, bye!